You need to realize though, if we're talking fighting, it applies. Novice fighter, sub-elite fighter who's on the brink of probably getting that big time contract and fighting people on the same level, and the full, the Israel, the Kai, all those guys. They have years of experience and training age behind them. So their ability to withstand volume, intensity is much larger. So young Suns would have broken somebody if he tried to apply the same volume. And then you often see people trying to replicate what I do with them, but they don't understand they've got 12-year training age in the gym with me, not their fight gym, the weights gym. So their body has been exposed to these stresses for 12 years, but then for the last 8 years, it's been correctly stressed, not bro science, shredding for iron V kind of stuff. That stuff don't work, all right? Gives you temporary pump, and temporary pump is useless, okay? So that's exactly what we talk about here, is how much we can expose your body to based on where you are in the sport or your training age. Very simple, very simple. Goes down there, we'll come down here, and we must understand there's a crossover, or there's a little bit of a give and take. If I want to work on fitness, my strength and power is going. If I want to work on strength and power, my fitness is going to go. That's where coaches go, well, fuck, how do I keep both? There's ways. I prepared one earlier. I'll speak about it there. All right? Same thing here is what we're talking about. Due to their individual histories, you need to then apply appropriate time under tension. How much do I expose to them in the fight gym, in S&C gym? All of these will encounter and go back to that fitness fatigue model when the curves come together and meet for preparedness or performance. Maximal aerobic capacity. Sounds fancy, but it's just how much oxygen you can use at like your highest intensity of exercise. When you're exerting the most, how much oxygen can I use? And that depends on how you train it. But just have a little read of that. I don't need to explain it because it'll just be me saying the same thing. I've made it very easy there. And I think I was speaking to you on the way up here about thresholds and working in that 90%. So you want a lot of athletes like, oh fuck, I just seem to fade in that third round, whether it's boxing in the 8-10 round, MMA fight, 5 minutes is a long time. Kickboxing, you got tournament style. Well, you're only training at 70%. You're only training in that green zone and flirting with the orange. Have you ever flirted with the red? First thing Kai did when he came in today, he pulled out and opened out his polar stuff for me to have a check over. He was operating at 200 beats per minute. That was before coming here. Most of his rounds, there was only one round he wasn't over 90%. He was operating at average 195 beats per minute. So now you wonder how these guys are able to do all of this. Well, I'm not saying do it every week, but you have to build yourself up, build that foundation so you can do it. What we're talking about, novice athlete first, your pro athletes, training age. How much can I keep slowly filtering at them? 8 years of work behind them. You only got 4 weeks, but of that 4 weeks, did you actually stick to the plan? Did you actually progressively load yourself? You have to remember, I'll talk about tapering and how we build in 12 weeks, 8 weeks, and 6 weeks.